Morning. We're here in one of our first year seedling patches, and some of these are blooming already. And I wanted to show you how I cull my seedlings. Sometimes right off the bat, like this one here, I can tell it's not going to ever have enough petals. You can see it has maybe 3 rows of petals and nothing else really about it that I'd like. So some of the traits that I would like to see in this is full petal count, good stem connection. This has a good stem connection, a nice stem, a lot of petals, maybe a color that I like, maybe a form that I like, but this one won't make it. So I'm going to move on, and in a minute I'll show you how I remove these. But again, here's another one. I can kind of tell right off the bat that this one's not going to make it, but if I wanted to give it a second try, I could easily do that by just cutting this one off and asking the plant to produce another bloom here in about a week or so. I could do that, but I can kind of tell that this one's not going to be very good. This one here has more potential. You can see it's got a pretty good petal count. It's still young. It's a little bit not as deep as I'd like it to be. So that one I might watch. I'm going to leave that one on today and give it another go. Give it another week or so. This one here is probably not going to make it, but I want it to open and just see what it might give me. So I'm just curious on that one. This one here looks like a short kind of squat plant in a form that I'm not really looking for, and I can tell it's going to be probably a little short on the petals as well. So that one will come out. Sometimes you can tell on these buds that it's not going to be a go because this just doesn't have enough petals again. So this is pretty common when I'm hybridizing, that I see ones that are low in petal count. This one's pretty high in petal count, but it's also kind of not very round, a little bit oddly shaped. But this one the second one might be a little more organized. Sometimes it takes a plant a couple of blooms to really kind of get their organization together. So if this has potential, if I think it has potential, I mean, it has good petal count, it's got a nice strong stem, I might just cut that one off and then see what the second one looks like. This one here, I can tell has low petal count again, and that's really common. Low petal count is probably what you get. And I only had fully doubled in my patch, so you can see that even though I only had fully doubled, I don't get really nice fully doubled, which I would call nice, which is a lot more petal count than I'm getting on these ones here. So a lot of these are still waiting to bloom. This one I'm excited about because the color is really interesting. But we'll just have to see on that. This one I'm going to say is coming out right away. It just doesn't have the petal count, very flat. So that one's probably a no-go. And then here we've got one here. Oh, and a ladybug too. And that one I'm going to look at a little bit more. Something happened here that could have been a bug bite. So I may give that a second one just to look at. Sometimes I'm not as concerned about color, because if the form of the bloom is really good, I might not worry about the color and try next year to hybridize it to something to change the color, because form is hard to get and petal count, you can see, is really hard to get. So these ones here, this is another trait that I'm not looking for, which is sort of downward facing. So this bloom is either clock faced, which is called clock faced when it's kind of straight up and down like this. Ideally you'd have the bloom at a 45, about like that. Again, this one has maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 sets of petals. It's already popping its center. I wouldn't keep that one. What I do like about it is the color of the stem, and the stem is really strong and it's got a good connection there. This one on the other hand is a nice color, again short on petal count, and it's a bobblehead, so that one's gonna go. This one too is a bobblehead, and this one I won't keep. I will take that one away. And this one too I don't think is gonna make it. I might give it until next week to pull it because it hasn't fully opened yet. I'm loving the color on this one, but I'm afraid it's not going to have enough petal count for me. But I can see there are 4 more buds here coming from this. So I'm going to give this a little bit more time because of the color. I'm really happy with the color. So that's pretty much it for how I would observe these ones this week. And in a second, I'll show you how I take these out. Now we're going to take out the seedlings that are not going to make the cut. And so what I first do is I want to make sure I'm pulling the right one out of the ground. That's happened to me before where I pulled the wrong one out. So I'm going to hold up here and kind of wiggle and make sure that it's wiggling down here. Next, I might just remove some of these lower leaves so I can really see what's going on because it gets kind of crowded. These seedlings are all grown in 4-inch pots, and they're sunk into the ground, so they should pop out pretty easily. So you can see the pot here, the drip tape's dripping into the pot, and I've got my tag here. So I'm going to pull all this out, and then I'm just going to remove the plant this way. And what this does is it makes my job easier. I don't have to take care of all these plants for the whole season. It gives their neighbors room to grow in case the neighbors are really good ones that I'd like. And so once I get it to this size here, I just grab onto it and wiggle it out. So you can see it's already pushed out some roots out of the bottom. And if I can pull this out, I can show you it's already producing little tubers here in the potting soil. So you could, have a pretty nice little set of tubers already, and these aren't even that old. They haven't even, it's only June. So then with the hole sitting here, I just try to fill in that hole, either with the rest of the potting soil from this or just soil around, and then I cover it with my mulch so that weeds don't start growing there. So that's kind of how I do it, and I'll show you a few more in just a sec. So I have about 1,400 first-year seedlings to cull and to observe and to look at and decide if I want to keep them. So I've gotten pretty fast at doing it. So I'm just going to show you how I go through once I've decided what to keep or not to keep, how I cull them. So if it's a short plant like this and it's easy enough to do, I can just grab the whole plant and pull it out like this and take it out that way. So that works. That's another way to do it. Just make sure you take your pot out. I empty the soil in there, cover it up, and then mulch like that, and then move on to the next one. So this one for sure is coming out right here. So I just have to make sure I'm identifying the right one. You can do it this way too, where you just pull with your hands. So there's lots of different ways to do it. But cutting it is probably the safest way to do it, and so you don't damage your neighbors. But you've probably seen me take out other ones in the past where I do it pretty easily and quickly. These are the first ones. As I get more of them out of the ground, it'll get easier and easier for me to remove them. Again, it's already got a really nice root system going there, and cover that up, put my mulch in, tuck them in, and
can I ask a question?
Much it. Yeah.
What happens with those tags of the ones that you've culled?
The tags that I've culled, I usually keep my tags. All these are on a spreadsheet, so I will know like if this cross, this 24-581 cross is a good cross, then I will see that I'm keeping quite a few and then removing quite a few. So I can keep track of these tags that way and add them to my spreadsheet. Really, the only thing I really need to keep though are the names of the ones that I am moving forward. So that's it. If you're interested in learning about how to breed dahlias, you may want to check out our book, Dahlia Breeding for the Farmer, Florist, and the Home Gardener, and it's available on Amazon as either a soft cover like this or as a Kindle. So you can check it out. It's got all different ways to set your goals, how to hand pollinate if you want to do that, how to open pollinate, and all kinds of little strategies in there. So have a good day, everyone.